everyone and welcome. I'm SailorDrew and this is my Let's Build The Sims 4 graveyard. This is fully functioning to where at the end of this video I'll kind of show you how you can get your own Sims remains on here, so that way your living Sims can go and visit, or if you need to kind of extract their ghosts or send it to the other side, you'll be able to do that as well, to where they're not like popping around town like giving you a call from, you know, the other side and things like that. Of course we had graveyards in The Sims 3, and the EA progression kind of kept up with the ghosts and kind of cleaned them out occasionally. It was also really nice because you could go into the crypt there and pull out remains of Sims that didn't die where you were at. So I'm really hoping that EA they've given us polls and they've given us ghosts and everything. I really want them to be able to give us something like that. You can download the mod MC Command Center and you can clean out all the ghosts. Like if you've been playing for a little while and you notice like 90% of your town are ghosts, you can clean them out. So that's kind of nice. But I would still like to be able to go and get people's remains. Like if one of my best friends, you know, ends up passing and I'm like, man, I really want his ghost, like, or his remains, then I could have gone to the graveyard and get it. But I don't know. So, and I was originally searching like on the internet and I didn't really see a whole lot for The Sims 4 cemeteries. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna make one myself and I'll do a video. I'm not a really strong builder. I don't build a whole lot just because I want to play. Like, and I get impatient and I'm like, I would rather download a lot and then gut it to make it fit how I want it and just use like whatever shell. And here I'm putting, like, really quick, just so I know, I'm putting chimneys in the ground. I totally stole that idea from Hatsy, to where there will be mist in the graveyard, kind of make it mysterious. But yeah, so I was looking up stuff and I couldn't really find anything. Well, like, come to find out, like, after I had compiled this video, like right before I'm doing the voiceover, I was like, well, let me try again. And whenever I searched with the graveyard, like all this stuff popped up. I'm like, of course. Like, so, and then a lot of weird stuff started showing up in my search, and I'm like, okay, like, I don't know, maybe I should stop like looking up like about dead things and stuff. But I don't know, I just figured, you know, this would be nice to where you can kind of keep track of your Sims remains and everything like that. And I don't have the spooky pack or anything like that because I don't really see a point in buying it just right now. Like, I'm holding out for a couple of other packs instead. Plus, I didn't want this cemetery to be just kind of like really super like spooky or you know, like Halloween-y, which there are some really nice ones out there that you can download, I'm sure. I wanted this one to be able to kind of blend into any game that I'm playing. Also, I made it on a 2030 lot, which I believe is the most popular lot size on all the maps, so that way it's just easier to just kind of throw it in there and not have to worry about it. And then of course I had to do a crypt. I'm like, every single one of them has a crypt. Like, but I wanted to try and figure out how to make it a little bit fancy without a lot of the stuff packs and the Get Together expansion pack, which I know you get Windenburg, so you kind of get castle-y, like ancient Germany, like architecture looking things. So I may do. I mean, it looks pretty cool. Like, I did some really cool stuff on the inside that I was like, oh, okay, yeah, let me see if I can figure this out. And, so it turned out pretty nice with my very limited building skills. So, but I don't know. I've always really enjoyed graveyards. It's not like I go a lot or anything like that, but I don't know. There was one in Texas that I used to visit a lot. I was a campfire girl, and campfire is, well, like the Boy Scouts were created, and there was nothing for girls. So the campfire girls were created, and then several years later, the Girl Scouts were created, but campfire still exists. And so I was a campfire girl, and I went to summer camp every year, and they would do like these midnight like haunted hikes. And so you would go hiking in the woods and end up at this graveyard that was really close to the camp, where Davy Crockett, like, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but his wife and children are buried there, and there's a statue of her. So he was at the Alamo. I remember the Alamo from Texas, if you couldn't tell. I'm like, random Texas history. But when he died, everybody at the Alamo died. Their bodies were burned, and their ashes were like just strewn about. So that's where he's laid to rest, I guess. But she's in Granbury, Texas. And so anytime they would go, I'm like, you know what, I've seen it a million times, like, you guys go without me, that, and I was, and still am, a huge chicken. So I'm like, I would rather do option B than go hiking in the middle of the night and listen to horrible ghost stories and have people jump out at me like tanks, but no tanks. So, but it was a really old graveyard. There was a lot of above ground graves. Just kind of really old and weathered looking. It was really cool. So that's where I got the idea to kind of do a couple of those in this cemetery. And I think, like, in Louisiana, the above ground graves are really common because of how marshy Louisiana is. That and the fact that, like, Louisiana is like eventually gonna like drop into the sea, they say, or something. Like, it's like always sinking. So I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but that's just something that I've heard. So I don't know, just kind of like random, fascinating, like graveyard topics for you. There's a really good YouTuber, and she does this series called Ask a Mortician. And she kind of talks about just common misconceptions about burials and stuff like that. So it's actually pretty good to watch. I believe her YouTube handle is Order of the Good Death or something like that. Maybe when they finally give us some sort of occult-based expansion, like Supernatural or something, they'll give us graveyards in a patch right before the game. They always seem to give us a patch right before they release something with some stuff that's like quasi-related. Like recently we just got Nannies, which isn't really related to the backyard stuff pack, but in the past, I don't know, they've kind of correlated a little bit more. So that would be kind of cool. I really, 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 really want graveyards, like more than toddlers. And I know that's like Sims blasphemy, but honestly, like teaching them how to walk and stuff, like I'm over it. So yeah, I would really want a graveyard. Something else that I've always wanted is baby showers. And I know people kind of figure out how to kind of do pretend baby showers, but some sort of like event that you can actually, like a social event that you can actually do, that would totally be awesome. I've already edited in music and everything for this video. I hope you guys like it, and I hope it's not like putting you to sleep. I didn't want anything like super too like Halloween-y or something, or you know, like really cheesy, but kind of like somber, cool sounding music. This is Inside the Crypt. I really like what I did in here. I don't know, I find it super creative. I'm like so easily pleased with myself because like I said, I don't build a whole lot. I just want to get straight into the game and play. But if I do build, I know, I mean, I can, it's so immersive, like I could just do it for hours. And while I was actually recording this video, I had it on continuously, and it ended up taking up almost 300 gigabytes on my hard drive. So I had to like cut it into bits and like process everything to free up some space on my computer, and then finish off like the last 30 minutes or so of it. You could really tell that I'm not used to building, since this little piddly like graveyard took me so long to build. But I'm looking into some other recording software to where won't take up as much room, but it'll still be like super high quality. But I'm still trying to figure out which program to go with. So if you guys know of something other than Fraps, let me know. My main concern with Fraps nowadays is that they haven't updated since 2013, so you can't record a lot of stuff with Windows 10. Like, it won't record your desktop and stuff anymore, which is kind of crazy, but I mean, it is what it is. I bought the program forever ago, so I guess I got my money's worth. Maybe builds that actually serve a purpose are more interesting to me, because I had a lot of fun doing this one because I knew I was going to use it a lot. Like, there's a mod out there to where you can have functioning grocery stores. So once I get the required expansion and game pack for it, I'm going to download that and make a grocery store and see how that works. I'm going to try and test it out so that way I can be sure to make sure I know what I'm doing and stuff. So that'll be fun, I think. Plus, I mean, why is it that in the game it shows you like you have 0 out of 1 onion and you can still make the food? Like, does having the onion actually like just make it taste a lot better, or it's cheaper or something? I don't know. Like, I haven't quite figured out what the difference is and if it's even worth it to have the onion. I also miss, and here I am again talking about stuff that I missed in Sims 3. Like, I just can't let it go. But I miss being able to eat your own produce as well. It just adds a little bit of immersion to the game that it was just a nice touch to have. And don't get me wrong, I mean, now that there are some packs out and a lot of mods out for The Sims 4, it's a really fun game. So when I talk about The Sims 3, I'm not necessarily bashing The Sims 4 because it's not the same game, it's the same franchise, and it has a lot of strengths to where I find it worth it playing. So I'm really trying not to be a Debbie Downer about it at all. And, you know, I'm sure some of you might be saying, well, yeah, you have to rely on mods for it to be fun. Well, it's not fun just because of the mods, or you have to have mods. I personally absolutely love mods. I find actually like downloading and researching and messing around with different mods is almost as fun as playing a game. Like Skyrim, like I have that thing modded to the teeth. Like, and that was just a blast to me, going through Nexus and finding all these mods and everything. And I don't know, I don't know if that's like pathetic or what, but I mean it is. It's like kind of like shopping for your game in a way, and you know, being able to see like what changes you can make to it. So really, kudos to the modders out there in the gaming community. You guys are amazing. That's also probably why we're actually getting a remastered Skyrim release, because modders kept the game alive and, you know, took something like that base game and was able to do so much with it. So it kind of kept it going to where, you know, a lot of people, they don't think that that's the best game in the franchise. However, it's one of the most popular ones because of all the mods. So I don't know, that's something to be said. Also, with The Sims 4, I'm really impressed with a lot of mods that are out there to where, you know, like for instance, having a grocery store. I mean, that's something that you would think would be an expansion or would have been in the base game or something, and here we can actually have it like with no cost at all. You could also couple it with other food mods to where the food, it makes, you know, the recipes make more sense, or, you know, you can have exotic recipes, you know, like sushi and things like that. So, I mean, that to me, I mean, it's just so cool. And there are a couple other mods out there that I'm just like, what? Like, my mind is blown, but of course, I'm like, as I was talking about it, it just like went away, so I can't even think about it. Just watch at the end of the video, I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say. So here, I was trying to figure out how to make the sides of the building look less plain. And again, I don't have a whole lot of things downloaded. I wait until things go on sale just because there are things that I'm like, okay, like, yes, I really want it, but I can live without it, so I don't want to pay full price. So I don't have a whole lot of building materials. But this has no custom content or anything, and so most of the stuff should be just base game stuff to where you don't have to have, you know, a lot of expansions as well to replace anything that might go missing. Now, I will say that in the backyard stuff pack, I actually really want the wind chime, and I'm almost convinced in buying it just for that stupid wind chime. Like, I don't know what it is that I really want it. I absolutely love wind chimes, and the fact that it's in game and it sounds so beautiful, I'm like, I just might buy it for that. Like, everything else, like, I could do without, but that damn wind chime I want. Okay, and I totally remembered the other mods that I'm like, what? So there's one where you can go to school with your kids. It's kind of like a get to work type of thing, to where you have goals throughout the day. I haven't downloaded it. It looks pretty interesting. There's another one where you can actually go to college, so that's something that an expansion we've always had, like university and things like that. So I think that's pretty cool that we kind of have something like that to where we don't really have to wait for the expansion just yet. I don't know, honestly, if you get a degree to where you, once you actually get a job after you've graduated, that you start at a higher tier in your career, also with like higher pay and stuff. Like, I don't know if that's something that they put in there. I think that would be really awesome, because that's what I kind of miss. Like, I miss being able to see, and again, I'm talking about stuff that I miss. I just can't help it. But I miss being able to have my kids like in boarding school or sending them off to college and things like that, to where I don't have to start them at the bottom of their career track, to where they kind of get a little bit of a boost, I guess, in life and stuff. Like a little bit of social commentary there for you, I guess. So, but the main reason I was building the cemetery, back to the whole cemetery thing, was because of my Let's Play for the 4 Immortal Sisters. So I have 2 sets of remains now. One is the first guy who ended up dying immediately after my fire sim got pregnant, so because he was old, so he didn't get eaten by a cow plant, so he kind of lucked out. But I have him on the mantelpiece, and my sims are obsessed with it. Like, they will not stop crying about it, like especially my water sim. And I don't know if that's because she's nurturing, so she is more sensitive or something, I'm not really sure, but she is obsessed with those remains and just will not stop crying about it. So that's the primary reason why I'm building the cemetery, is so I'll have a place for the remains for that Let's Play. And again, I most definitely plan on using this throughout all my games, or at least some sort of cemetery. I don't know if I'm going to build another one. This one's plain enough, or not plain. I mean, it's not plain because I did put some effort into it, but this one's nice enough looking and kind of versatile in its looks enough to where I could really use it in all of my Let's Plays. There's one where I might not be able to, one that I'm kind of planning. I don't want to say a whole lot about it because I'm still trying to figure out all the logistics, because it's kind of got a lot to do with a lot of custom content and stuff, so to set it up to where I want it to look. But that one I might not be able to use the cemetery for, but everything else it should be fine. But in here I'm making like the little plots of land. I believe there's 34 of them, so there should be plenty of space for a lot of your sims should you download this from the gallery. And again, it's in there, and you can look it up using hashtag SailorDrew or my EA account, which is SailorDrew, all one word. So that's on there, as well as some Disney princesses and stuff. So, but yeah, there's 34 lots, and none of the headstones are anyone really. So how you get them off of there, like if you, because I left blank spots for your Sims, and if you need to replace all of them, you can with your Sims remains. All you have to do is have one of your Sims travel to the lot and click destroy, because they're just there for looks, essentially. You know, no Sim, Ghost Sim is tied to it or anything like that, so they're just something that you get whenever you do the debug code. Looking at that astronaut statue, it kind of reminds me of a spin-off game for The Sims 2, where it was a standalone game. I can't for the life of me remember what it was called, and I still own it. It's just packed away in a box. See, I do this. Anytime we move, like if we ever move, it takes us years to unpack everything just because I hate moving and I hate packing. So I'm like, I would rather just live there forever than ever move. But it's a standalone game where there's two storylines. You pick a girl and then you pick a guy. Well, the guy's storyline was like he was a millionaire and he was looking for true love. And at the end, like spoiler alert, like the girl that he falls in love with ends up getting obliterated by a satellite. And if you actually go, like you actually see the satellite like on her crushed body and everything. So you can either, like, you can save her by pleading with death, and he's like, okay, like I'll save her if you give me all your money, or you lose all your money, and which is an option. So you can either keep all your money and just die miserable and alone, or you can save her by giving up all your like millions of simoleons. So I don't know, but if you give up your money, you can actually sell like the heap of satellites and actually get a lot of money that way. So it all kind of worked out in a way. But here I'm having to do lighting for the night, and you may have saw me like create a room for all those little saucer lights, so that way I could change all of the colors at once. So this part I actually had to bring Seraphine to the lot and then go into build mode, so that way I could change the colors of the lights. So which I don't know if that's like lazy or I don't know, like you would think that you would be able to do like change light colors somehow when you're just purely in manage world mode and building, but I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. So, and I'm just putting a little bit of orange lights in there just to kind of give it a little bit of an eerie feel, but not a whole lot. And here we go. So this is the final product, and you kind of see the mist and everything, and there's the crypt. So this is my Let's Play the 4 Immortal Sisters. Seraphine is a fire sister. She has remains on her, which I need to get off the lot, so that way River, her water sister, won't like obsessively cry over it. So I'm having her travel to the cemetery, and all you do is you drag it out of her inventory, and that's it. You can interact with it like you would if it were on your lot. You can summon the ghost or send them into the afterlife, mourn, just whatever you want. So, and that's it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed me babbling about random graveyard trivia, and I hope that, you know, this is something that you enjoyed. Later, guys.
Oh, she's on fire.
Oh my god, she is on fire. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh god, she's on fire.
Oh no.
Oh my god. How do you extinguish her? Extinguish self. Like, look at the emoji or the...